Hi everyone, welcome back to Be Myself and Ifa. It's Ifa here and we're back with another episode of Classroom Convos. So today we're going to be talking about celebrities and responsibility, and we'll just start kind of discussing whether celebrities do have a responsibility to be role models or to believe a certain thing, and then we'll just go wherever the conversation leads as always. Just going to throw it out to you guys. I know it's such a broad question, but what's your general stance?
So I feel like it's such a complex issue. So I'm a black Caribbean person, black British person. How many people do we have in public roles to speak for us? So let's say you have a black person who's in the media and the public eye, they have to speak for us because no one else can speak for us. Whereas if I'm Tom from Kent, I have so many different people to speak for me on BBC or Newsround, on ITV, etc. So the responsibility may not lie with these white public figures, but as a black working class person, I have no one else to, so sometimes they have to.
I was going to say in the same breath, we're in 2018. Should we not know by now that one person's voice is not the voice of all people?
Of everybody collectively. I think there's also a point to be made about it's up to parents to parent their children rather than it shouldn't be celebrity that is raising your child. You should be raising your child yourself. I think that, of course, celebrities, there is a level of responsibility, but parents should know, I can't trust some person that really just got an opportunity and somehow made themselves a career to raise my child. It needs to be me that's speaking into my child what I want them to display in this world, rather than them fully looking to a celebrity. You don't see all the areas of their lives, you don't see the nitty-gritty, so I don't believe that should be something we're allowing them to do for us.
I think there's a certain element of pragmatism that we have to appreciate here, because at the end of the day, yes, we don't want someone to represent the majority, but unfortunately, that's the case. Yeah. They do. So we have to deal with what is at hand. And if we know that we are in a position of influence, or we are going to be, unfortunately, representing a majority of people, then, you know what, let's deal with it. Let's take on that responsibility and let's rock with it. Let's do the best that we can to ensure that in future generations, that's not the case.
Just going off that and kind of off Danielle's, I remember my mum telling me her friend was saying thank God for Kim Kardashian because her daughter's the same height as her, and she wasn't okay with her height until she realised Kim Kardashian was the same height as her. And I think that generally in life you shouldn't have to rely on being the same height as someone to be okay with your height. It's not as sustainable assurance that
she dies.
do you know what I mean? And also, at the end of the day, a lot of the reasons why the people are on a higher platform is because of their talent. So why does their talent now give them this automatic moral high ground?
I think there's sort of a conflation between the artist and the celebrity as well. Artists don't have that social responsibility, but the celebrity does, because the celebrity is a constructed image. It's something that you put out to the public that is actually just there to be consumed by the public, whereas an artist is putting out his art. So that art is whatever he feels or whatever she feels, whereas a celebrity is it's an ideology at the end of the day.
I think that was so important with Kanye, because the thing was about Kanye, everybody was saying Kanye's a genius, and it's don't confuse, he's a musical genius. That doesn't mean he's a genius in every field. He didn't leave, I'm not saying that everybody that doesn't go to university is not smart, but he's a college dropout. It's not like he came out with somewhere with some amazing degree and he's read up all his literature and he knows so much about the issues of the world. Don't mix the two.
You guys think it depends on the artist's intentions as well, and how much we should hold them as being socially responsible? So if someone says oh, I'm here to represent you guys, are they more socially responsible than someone who's outwardly reckless? Does that make a difference to you guys?
Yeah, I think so. I love drill. So if you look at the context of drill music, or UK rap, so you have people like Fredo, Heady One, K-Trap, etc. They say they represent their bits, they represent their ends. So if you're representing these people, you can't just be conflating very dangerous images of black people, but you can't and not feed back to them, if that makes sense. So if someone's trying to portray I'm the voice for the people, you have to give back as well, if that makes sense. But if you're just trying to be, free, I'm just my own person, then maybe there's less responsibility on you.
I think what's important about what you said is the image you're portraying, so kind of your actions matching the image you're portraying. But I just feel like someone like Kanye has always been a loose wire. Like, not a lot of people just come out and say George Bush hates black people, or jump on stage with Taylor Swift. So like that's why I was just a bit confused when people were like, he's our voice and like he's our only voice, because the guy's always kind of just, I feel anyway, always kind of been about Kanye. So even if what he's saying may help, the way he goes about it has always been very reckless, has always been very like loose, and I don't think he's ever been or portrayed himself as a stable guy. So just in terms of what you're saying, I think there's a mismatch there in terms of what he's saying and in terms of what people expect of him.
Yeah, like I agree. I think reputation plays a huge part in the gravity of what you're saying. It's reputation both as you as a person and also the work you've done. And the issue with Kanye is the work he's done is brilliant and it's excellent, and he's gone to a high platform and a high level because of that. And people, you said, people confuse those two levels, right? So you mentioned about intentions, and I think that's why a lot of people conflict with Kanye and think, oh well, yeah, the stuff he says is bad, but let's actually think about what he's saying. I think, and I hope that the majority of the population will understand, look, this is someone that is coming, I hope, from a good intention. This is someone that, you know, in the past, he's had views that we all agree with, right? He's had opinions that, like, we can relate with and make sense. So let's stop and think, and where is he going? Why is he saying these thoughts?
Is he going? Are his intentions pure, though? I feel like, especially with the slavery stuff, his albums were coming out in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, like, question it. Don't get me wrong, question it. I'm not saying that I'm on his side, but people need to question it rather than take it as face value.
That is very true, because he was absent for quite a long time and then came back with that. But at the same time, it's just like, we say that maybe he was hiding, like, and was only coming back really just to sell his album. But isn't that kind of something that artists do in general? They go behind closed doors, they're working really hard, they go through some stuff, and that stuff inspires them, and then all of a sudden they want to come back and they want to share. Maybe he wasn't speaking about Black Lives Matter enough, or like things like that were happening in the black community. But I don't think we should take it out of proportion and make it such a big thing, like, oh yeah, you were so absent and now you're here, you want to speak, because I feel like that's kind of the artist experience in general.
I get you, like, he goes where he puts back in, and that's what artists do. But he was trying to profit off black pain. But of course, like, the interview is longer, but he's profiting off black pain. That's an issue.
I think what Nadine's saying about like people kind of hearing slavery as a choice and reading behind it is what people don't do, and I feel like people are so quick to give outrage, to give pain, whereas like, I don't want this whole video to be about Kanye, but he also kind of went and tried to explain what he meant by that, but people didn't want to listen by then. People are kind of like so quick, and because it's celebrities, so it's like quick, fast news and everything's trending, to like react.
No, I get that, but I feel like you can't really like blame people for doing that, because like, considering the current like political climate in America, like, everyone's tensions are kind of high, like people are bound to, you know, react quickly, and also considering the kind of family he has and like the track history.
Can I corroborate just quickly what Nadine and Ife said? I think that's a really important train of thought. Being able to stop, internalize, reflect, and then make a decision. That makes that decision a lot more valid, and I feel like it's something that we don't do enough, as you say, but why I think that also that train of thought is really important as well is that it could resolve the problem of putting the responsibility or burden on celebrities. A lot of the responsibility that we put on celebrities, it goes away because people can think, and the power of thinking is it's so important, you know. So I think that's a very, very, very important point.
Yeah, going on that as well, like, I think with thinking for yourself, I think having a discussion is important as well. And I feel like that's where, in some cases, social media kind of lacks. Because people don't really have the discussion. It's just everyone's first opinion. So you just go off that without, like, really, like, delving deeper into it and finding out more about it. So.
And his first opinion is often based off, like, one line of, like, a headline. That's the thing that's really tragic, I think.
Yeah, just drawing off, like, Timmy's, Ali's and Danielle's point, I feel like in real life and in real life conversations, that process of actually thinking happens, and it's like when it's celebrities, we just completely like disable that like click in our brains, and I don't understand why we have to kind of forget that because it's celebrities.
I don't think that it's just celebrities that we do that with. I think we do it in all areas of life, like politics. You get sound bites that are like, oh, 350 million for the NHS if we stop going for Brexit. But what that actually means is that there's 350 million that isn't going to be spent on Brexit, which could be spent elsewhere.
Yeah.
And people take sound bites, people take little snippets of information to say what they want to say about it.
That's a fair point.
Here's me playing devil's advocate though. Does anyone here disagree that celebrities have an influence? And if they have an influence, then
they 100%
that means that anything they say is going to impact someone. So does that mean that they have to watch every single word
Yeah,
they say?
no,
Do celebrities
I
need
don't
to be
think so.
censored?
But they do have
You
to,
think it
like,
does?
Because, like,
caution the way they behave.
I think like if you take like the idea of responsibility, like what you say, influencing someone. If you take it away from celebrities, like I have a little brother, I have siblings. I know everything I do, my brother will suck in and replicate. So you have to be careful what you do.
I get that with his family member. This is versus somebody that's taking a career, but that's the thing. I think we need to make sure that we do distinguish between celebrity and artists. If we're talking about, say, someone like Kim Kardashian, right? I found it really interesting that person saying that they appreciated that she was 5'2". I know that she's 5'2" because I'm 5'2", and I remember thinking, how does she fit that much body into like this? I genuinely thought that. But she got, like, I think it was Fashion Icon Award recently, and I was thinking to myself, I don't really understand what she's done for the fashion industry. I would say I don't understand why she would be somebody that somebody would look up to, because it's just like, for me, all she's done in so many ways is actually ruin the self-esteem of so many women in this world. But
One woman.
like, I don't come for Kim K like ever, because I don't actually think she's a bad person. Every time I've seen interviews of her, she seems like she's generally sweet, and there's something to be said about her character that's great there. But then at the same time, I don't understand what she's done for the empowerment of women in terms of when we're talking about physicality, when we're talking about the way women perceive themselves. I don't really see what's that great that's been done. And in that sort of situation, I would say there is a level of responsibility, but Kim K has shown herself multiple times that she does not want that responsibility. So stop asking her to come and be on this platform and to be this person that needs to be accountable for the things she does, when she's told you she don't want to be accountable for the things she does. There is no universal standard which is saying that if you want to be an influencer, you have to be this level of good in a way that maybe we morally perceive good to be. It's like, no, that doesn't exist. So whatever she wants to bring to the world is what she is going to bring to the world, and that is her image of like false perfection, whatever you want to call it.
So
I think
that's what she wants to bring.
Just replying to what Danielle said, I remember like a story came out about like, I don't know if it was like 13 to 14 year olds taking nudes, because obviously that's not all Kim Kardashian does, but like quite a large portion of her Instagram of naked pictures. And I just think that like, if someone, and I'm not judging anything, but if someone's claim to fame was a sex tape, like I feel like they've kind of not like set themselves, but as it's kind of what Danielle's saying, like why would that now be a go-to like
You know why?
for
Because
young girls?
people have fickle minds, and that is not someone to
It's
like.
been constant, like she's always kind of been like about physicality and
That's
about
what
like
she's
her
about.
body,
Yeah,
like,
and
that's
who's
never
to say
changed.
that that's wrong though?
No, that's what I'm saying,
That's
it's
what
not
I'm saying,
wrong, but
there
then
is no
don't
moral
now
standard.
say
That's what I'm
that.
saying, exactly. There is no universal moral standard for what she needs to be as a social influencer. What she decides to contribute is what she decides to contribute.
Are you talking about her content or her message?
Both.
I'm
talking about
Okay,
both
so
things.
for me, I disagree. Her content, go for it. Her message, that's when I think you need to stop and think.
Saying that we need to stop and think, or she
No,
needs
I
to.
think she needs to stop and think. You as a celebrity, the cost of celebrity, I'm afraid, is influence. So like a celebrity has to be censored. Celebrities are publicists.
What do you
that
mean
say,
by her
you can't
message
say
then?
this, you can't do this.
What do you mean by her message?
Okay, her concealer stuff. It
Well,
didn't cover anyone but beige and sand. My husband's black, but we'll think about the girls later.
I just jumped back to the point I was making before. Essentially, her like coming out with a sex tape. Why should that be your? Why should that be your source? I don't think that her becoming a celebrity should suddenly mean that like her whole personality and her aura has to change. Fair enough if she like came out with the sex tape and was like, you know what, this is how I came up, but I'm going to change. I'm going to talk about education. I'm going to talk about like politics. I'm going to talk about racism. Fair enough. This girl has never ever said that.
But does she not dip into bits and
She
bobs?
does. Have you seen the show, mate?
After the robbery situation, after the like she was held up, that sort of situation, I think that
She's a
changed
big
a lot.
woman,
I think that
man.
changed a lot. No. I don't think you would go through that sort of situation. Nobody would come out the same. So I think you need to give her dues there. Like I don't think that's fair. That's armed robbery.
And this is what I'm saying. Automatically, it's not that deep.
I've been held at gunpoint. My dad got shot in the leg. It's not that deep, fam.
That doesn't mean it's not that deep. Because you're in
It's not gonna change. It's not that deep, fam.
I've listened to like everyone's points, and obviously everyone's making valid points, but I feel like we're missing something. The fact that we're failing to recognize the role that media plays in this. Like the Kardashians are literally forced down our throats. Like you can't not see them as a beauty ideal, which is why I completely understand the hype thing, because literally, look at Snapchat Discovery. Kim Kardashian is on almost every single one. I just feel like it's really, really important to like understand the role that the media plays in this. They literally like more or less like form our opinions like on them.
Is that then the media's fault, or is that our fault?
It's not like a fault thing. It just is what it is. Like the media plays such a huge role in society.
I think the
like,
media are a reflection
yeah,
of
that's what I'm
society.
saying.
No, I thought the media is a reflection of the government.
The government?
Yeah,
But then,
if we're gonna get deep,
just what you're saying about height, like I understand like a little girl,
Yeah.
you know, seeing Kim Kardashian and be like, thank God for her, Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
But I feel like as a mother, you're always
Yeah,
to like
I don't know
diffuse
about
that. I feel like a mother
Exactly.
saying, thank God for Kim Kardashian.
It's
Now
an
my
issue.
child
It's an
can be
issue.
okay with her height.
No,
Is an
That's
issue.
maybe
Because that exactly
But
that's
I feel
now
like that's
passed
the
down, and
mother's own
essentially,
personal
Kim,
Yeah,
that's what I'm
yeah,
saying. That's exactly what I'm saying.
But then
So
again, like to some extent, you can't say like there's something 100% wrong in like looking up to a celebrity and allowing your child to do so. I mean,
No,
if it's not
I'm
completely
sorry.
destroying her confidence,
It
then
is completely.
That's what I'm saying. It's not
destroying
It's not a
That's the
sustainable
issue.
confidence.
The issue with Kim Kardashian is that her whole being, currently she's fake. I'm sorry, like I'm not even saying that in a judgmental way. She's literally a constructed human being. She's not a natural image of beauty. Like no child will be able to reach that until they've got to an age where they're able to insert plastic into themselves or fat transfer, and that's the only way in which they'll ever be able ever be able to reach that beauty standard. So then I think a mother is literally obliged to be like, bro, I want to take care of my child. I cannot let that be her image of beauty that she's trying to attain. I cannot allow that. That is dangerous for my child. That is detrimental to her mental health. And that's the issue we have with so many girls. Like that's why I'm, as a mother, I would be like, bro, Kim K, you're not watching it.
But is it good to shield them? Because in reality,
I was gonna say
it's not shielding them. It's not shielding them. It's showing them, look, this is your option. This is why I'm saying I'm not down for that, and I'm not going to help you get there. When you ask me for Christmas, can I get Kim K palette? I'm like, bro, no. We can get this palette that is actually. We can get even Rihanna.
Do you know what you can do that's even better?
Are you gonna mansplain something?
You know what a mother that could do that would be a lot more beneficial? Is actually train your child, your daughter in this case, to be able to see that woman and say that, oh, she's not a perfect reflection of what a natural person looks like. That is the best thing. Don't stop her from getting the product. Let her get the product, but let her know behind that product is an individual who is not representative of most people. And if you can train people to think like that, and it's a lot easier said than done, but I think that you do, as you say, you do need to start from parents down to children early.
I think you said already before, it's not just celebrities we do it to other things as well. Like people like idolize football, people attach at one point.
Are they not celebrities?
But the thing is with that though, what is detrimental?
I mean like the actual sport itself.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, like you idolize other little things.
If we're talking Kim K, which was the example I was using, there's a difference between culture and the fact that maybe a child has more of a football culture and the fact that a child maybe wants to alterate their body physically to look like something.
The argument is that boys don't fit in
That's
with
the
the
thing,
other boys
that's
if they don't like
perfect.
football.
Yeah.
So there is there's still a culture around it that can be
That's a
detrimental.
huge-
Danielle said something about Rihanna. So you buy your child Rihanna, but you wouldn't buy a Kim K because
Possibly.
But that's because that celebrity, Rihanna, is one that you prefer. You prefer her message. So at the end of the day, we still.
But then,
we still look to
this is the thing,
celebrities.
I've never said that she's responsible for my child. I've just said that I prefer her message so you can go down that path. I'm not looking to a celebrity in any way, shape or form to have any role in raising my child. You represent different colours, different shades, people that look more like me. That's why I'm going to say to my kid, okay, we can try that route, we can look down that route.
I think we're talking absolutes. Like, if you look at agents of socialization, the mass media is one. So you can't be like, the media isn't going to socialize my child. It's going to. It's the same way the education system is, the same way religion is, the same way the family is. So like, it's more about control rather than saying, no, this is bad. Do you know what I mean?
Just to devil's advocate your point, you said, you know what, you'd rather like endorse Rihanna, etc. But isn't that kind of like forcing your preferences on your child already? Like, is it not better to say, I mean, I don't know, this is what it is, like this is everything that's there, and if you kind of see ways that that's influencing your child that isn't like, I guess, morally right, without like kind of associating it with the person, just generally the concept's morally right, than being like, hey look, I know she's doing that, but it's not exactly this, etc. Rather than kind of, I guess, tunnel visioning your child. Generally, I don't think I was like sheltered that much as a child, and I think that's because of just the kind of confidence that my mum instilled in me. Like, I didn't even know I was short growing up, and when I was pictures I'd always go to the tallest side because I literally didn't know I was short.
Were you blind?
The whole point I'm making is that there was no kind of focus on, yeah, your height, yeah, you're a midget. Like, I might be called a midget, but like, I still
But do
didn't.
you see how that's your subjective? Ife thought that she wasn't short.
No,
so she moved to the
what I'm
side
saying
to
is I never focus on like certain disabilities So I didn't focus on this was in inverted commas. I didn't focus on areas that I was like in terms of height, areas that I was lacking. So even though I was seeing people of different heights, my sister's like double my height, I never like thought, I wish I was blah 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 blah, and I can still look at other people and appreciate them. So I think that kind of general confidence, not confidence based on someone, is just so much more stronger.
The whole reason why I'm saying that I'm preferring Rihanna in terms of rather than Kim K is because she's a natural image. That is something that would be more.
What is a natural image like? Because I love Riri, man. I'm sure she's had a couple backdoor
Nip and tucks.
Yeah, she has. Yeah, but I don't know what she's done, but to me, I think there's very clear differences anyway. And the thing is, I think you were saying that you were kind of more, as a parent, you wouldn't want to be somebody that tells your child like the path to go. You would rather like be like, this is what the ways are, choose your ways. Personally, I'm more of a Nigerian raised.
I like it.
There were certain doors that were closed, and I appreciate that. Me and my mum spoke about everything, but the thing is, there was still a closed door. It's still like, this door's not going to open just because you talk to me about it. And the thing is, parents, you are wiser than your children, so I don't understand why I'm acting like I'm not. It's like a child telling me, I want to touch fire because it looks fun, and then me being like, oh, there's different pathways you can go, you cannot touch the fire because it will be better for your health.
But the thing is, if you hide fire from your child is going to go outside, see fire, and be like, what is this? And touch the fire.
No, that's not how life is. That's not how life is. That's like a small percentage.
That's exactly how life is.
The wild childs that we know, are they not sheltered at home?
I feel like strict parents like raise the best life. You can't shelter.
That is a beautiful point.
I mean, I feel like if you don't see that, I mean, being a parent now, then I feel like maybe you're a bit like, I don't want to say naive, maybe you're just in denial, I don't know, because I feel like considering people I grew up with and like considering the stories I've heard, like sheltering your child just like, especially when they get to uni and they're allowed to do anything they want.
I can literally use myself as an example as to why that does not stand. I don't know how to describe it. I'm not sheltered. This is the thing. My mum let me go to the parties where they were smoking weed and they were drinking when I was like 16-year-old. She let me go. I would come back and I'd explain to my mum, at the party they were smoking weed and they were drinking, da da da. And I would come back and I'd tell her that and we're cool. But she's saying,
that's not
I wasn't allowed to do it though.
Yeah, you wasn't fair enough.
You don't think that's sheltered? No. That's the sort of thing that I'm saying that I would like to display in my children though. That's the sort of thing that I'm saying, don't do this. Like, I don't appreciate the Kim K, but this is the way you should go. And then hopefully they will be able to then see for themselves what is beneficial and what is not beneficial. It's not saying that this door is completely closed. I don't know how to describe it, but that's the sort of thing I'm talking about rather than like shelter completely.
I feel like generally the vibe is that they are on a different platform to us, or they are held to a higher esteem. So in that case, how come when they do something wrong, then it's like kind of flipped?
That's like my issue with that, and like the whole separating art from the artist conversation as well. I think with celebrities and people in general, society is like an issue. We see it as like a binary where they're either like a good person or a bad person. We just put them in those two categories. Whereas I think like there's a big grey area, like a good person can do bad things and vice versa. So it becomes a lot harder for us to judge people.
There are people that are growing and learning human beings. Like, there obviously is a level of like, you really have just broken laws and stuff like that, which is stuff we can see with like the rape cases and that sort of like the Me Too movement and that sort of situation. And people that are abusing their power, then okay, they're people that just need to be X.
I believed that up until maybe a year, 2 years ago. And I was like, stop, let's think. Is everyone not a victim? Are we here to really look at that person, be like, he's a rapist? Cancelled.
No, but there are certain levels to the people that actually do need to just be put in jail. Like, what are you going to do?
Oh yeah, he should be punished.
There are certain people that...
Is he a loss? Is he evil?
Maybe we have different understandings of the word cancel. For me, that means that you just need to be time off. Right now, you're not going to be doing your career in the way you want to be doing it. You just need to have time out. And that could be, you could grow in your time out. You could come back from your time out a reformed and better human being. But right now, you just need time out.
Society doesn't allow people to come out.
Yeah. So that's something that you need to grow on.
Normal people don't get the time out thing. Contextualize that further, so LGBT people, LGBT people, ethnic minorities, working class people, they don't get the opportunity for us to be in time out or for us to contextualize them. Like, if we mess up once, that's us cancelled. So like maybe we should also hold these celebrities to the same standard as well, because like they have a privilege, why are we giving them that privilege and we don't have it? You see,
At the same time, though, wouldn't you prefer that you had the opportunity to be able to time out? So
but we
I
don't know. So I can't be like, oh, let's allow Kanye, because I look like Kanye, but I'm not getting allowed like Kanye. Why are we allowing Kanye?
If you said slavery was a choice in a conversation with 5 people, I don't think you would be cancelled in the world.
No, you wouldn't.
But you'd be cancelled amongst your friends. It's a different circumstance.
Oh, cancel. Or like,
If I said that to any of my friends, I wouldn't have friends.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Personally, I, as your friend, I think, would give you time to explain yourself. But that's just me. I feel like people, they say they believe in like prison as like a reform tool, right?
No, yeah.
But then, obviously, in the world where they come out, so I agree with you in that sense. A lot of times when people come out of jail, it is hard for them to find a job, and so they kind of end up in the same cycle. And so I just got to bring the conversation to say like Chris Brown and 2008 was it? Obviously, hit Rihanna really bad, but it's like he's still having help from that point. And fair enough, he did do other things afterwards that were like misogynistic and just a bit messed up. But there was a period where like he was just trying to actually like make music, and people would allow him. The moment I kind of stopped attacking him for that Rihanna thing was when I realised that Rihanna had forgiven him. And my thing is like, just me personally, if the person who was involved in that situation has given him the time and like has forgiven him and found the heart to forgive him, who am I in London to be like, no? But fair enough, in Chris Brown's case, he did go on to do more messed up things, but I feel like he is one person who has like never been able to catch a case.
Yeah, I was going to say, do we believe that he's continued to act the way he is because the punishments were so severe?
No.
Or do you
I
think
think
that
because his punishment was not so severe. To recap, he didn't even have to.
I'm
talking about reputation.
But he didn't even learn from it because he released the song like 2 years later. That dead song was air, and he said, "I'm not worried about nothing. Rehab only had me worried about." Like he doesn't care. Karichi had to file a restraining order.
And another
him,
woman
like 2 years
since then
later.
has then had to
He
file
stalked
another
his girlfriend,
restraining
stalked her
order.
boyfriends. Like that doesn't show to me remorse.
He's not.
But then there's people like, I'm going to get hate for this, but people like XXXTentacion and 6ix9ine that have shown active repentance.
Yeah,
Been like,
but he's somebody too soon. He's somebody that unfortunately was taken too soon for us to be able to see the full outcome of that action. He was too young. We never fully got to see the change in X.
6ix9ine. People have cancelled 6ix9ine. Will continue to cancel
6ix9ine.
6ix9ine gives money back to his community.
I
So
can't
much
see
money.
because he says
money back to
N-word.
his, what was his crime in the first place?
So his crime was.
He's
it's
a bit of
grey.
a-
It's a bit grey, but he allegedly.
Slide paedophile?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had a
but
minor
has-
in his
yeah,
sexual
he's a
video. He says the N-word and he isn't black. And-
Prophets of black culture, he's not black.
Okay, but who doesn't?
You said that he gave back to his community. That is not an active sign of repentance in
But
terms of his actual crimes
It
committed.
doesn't show that. It shows that
It
he's
shows
not a
that
bad
he's
person.
that's what I'm saying now.
But people
Because-
assume that he's a bad
No,
person.
not
because of
not
a
necessarily,
mistake.
because you can give back to your community. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're all of a sudden repentant or a saint, or that doesn't even mean that
But
you're.
is anyone?
It doesn't even show that you're on the path to like trying to do better, because you could have been giving money to your community when you were doing all the trash things you were doing before. Giving money to your community doesn't show that you're sorry for the actions that you did and the ways in which you hurt
He did
people.
the time. I think he's apologised for it, and it was such a grey area that the fact is that he didn't have a lawyer because he was
At the
poor
time,
at the
yeah,
time.
yeah.
Like there's so much to it, but people know that he's a paedophile. People know he's convicted. People know
What's
that
his
he's a
behaviour
I
paedophile.
feel
demonstrate
like-
now, other than
That he's just cocky. Like he's just an idiot.
I'm misogynistic. Still misogynistic.
Then
though.
how can I still support you if you're still doing that? You're still misogynistic. That is something that obviously is something that I'm not going to endorse.
And does that mean you must cancel them?
Mhm.
Because what does that mean? My issue with cancelling people is that you're just creating the group over there on the outside who are being vented and they get angry.
Yeah, yeah.
Their opinions aren't changing, they're not learning anything, but they're angry
That's
on
the
the
thing.
outside.
So that's why I
That's
think
the
this is
issue.
the thing. Maybe we just need to put in this thing of time out. It's literally like, I'm not going to endorse you until you decide to change your things into a way that I can endorse. I don't think we should be putting this responsibility on celebrities that they need to be a certain way. But when they are not the way you want them to be, don't endorse them.
Just off that, I feel like, sorry to throw back to Chris Brown, I just want to focus, not post the period, but like literally just that mini period afterwards, but he was just trying to catch a break. And quite a dangerous point, could it be that, the cancelling thing, what you're saying about time out, what actually unfortunately happens is that it's still time in, it's just time in negativity. So the media will still focus on them, but it's all the bad things that they're doing. And can you argue that the media focusing on the bad things that they're doing is not allowing them to actually reform? If you're trying to reform your character, you'll be reminded of how shit a person you are. That's going to have an effect on your
Maybe
reputation.
that's what I meant by, do we believe Chris Brown continues to be the way he is because of him as a person or because of his environment, people he's surrounded by, his media? his reputation.
I feel like
So,
to some
his reputation
extent,
is
like
soiled forever.
that's only justifiable to some extent. I get like personality defects, or if the media presents you as some kind of person, maybe it'll like destroy your confidence. You don't want to make music anymore. Like you feel like everyone hates you. That's fine. But then when it comes to like stuff like harassment and stalking, I feel like that's not even like. It shouldn't even come into like question. Like the media has nothing to do with the fact that you chose to like, you know, destroy the life of this poor woman.
It has nothing to do with the fact that
Absolutely
like
nothing.
throwing chairs in glass windows.
Yeah.
It has nothing. This is the thing, and that was recent after his misbehaviour. So I wouldn't say that he's still not actively shown that there is a need and a want to change. We cannot put everything on the media. Yes, the media is something that is very destructive in its ways, but generally these people are rich enough to have genuine timeouts if they want to. They are rich enough, if they really want to reform, they are rich enough to find an island and sit, where there is no signal. It's the truth.
Are they allowed to though?
They are allowed to.
I want to ask why they have to.
No, but I'm saying if they genuinely want to reform, they don't have to genuinely want to reform, but if they genuinely want to, and they're saying that they want to, they are rich enough to find the island. They are rich enough to go there and change their ways. If they don't want to do that, then don't cry when I don't give you money. Don't cry when I don't give you an interview. Don't cry when I don't come to your tour. That's your business.
I mean,
change.
everyone says that, but isn't Kanye still leading the sales in literally 8 different countries? So I'm not gonna lie, shout cancel. No one actually cancel the guy. It's the winning.
Whether or not you choose to cancel someone, that's none of my business. Like I don't care. I will not give Kanye West my coins. I will not give 6ix9ine my coins. I think Drake is a certain type of person, so as a result, I wouldn't give him my coins because, in my opinion, he's cancelled. But all my friends love Drake. Like I'm not complaining. I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm not gonna talk to you because you support. Like nah, it's nothing to do.
I love that though. I love that, and I feel like honestly, I don't know. I just feel like today, in this very age, like in this day and age, it's very rare that I meet people who like stick to what they know. Fleeting opinions all the time. So what Davi's saying was so true. 1 week the whole TL, Kanye's cancelled. Don't buy his album. Don't. But did you listen to the music? Yes, you did.
No, I said Kanye's cancelled and I didn't.
That's what I'm saying. That is embarrassing.
I also know, like, I feel like we like to think that social media is so representative, but like we're not even like up to. I'm not going to say some dumb statistic that I don't know, but we're really not that representative because we're such a bubble. So we think there's so many of us. We see celebrities like millions of followers. We're like, okay, obviously everyone's seeing this.
That's why Brexit happened and Trump.
I say 2 points. One's very small. Like we talk in echo chambers. The idea like, oh, how much is our output being actually heard? And 2, like, how do celebrities redeem themselves? Does that make sense?
They have that transformation, and genuine transformation can happen.
But what is genuine transformation?
So that's when they make their comeback. They're doing good things. 6ix9ine is giving back.
He's not changed his misogyny. So he hasn't genuinely changed. Just because you're giving money doesn't mean you're a better person. Do corruption on the side.
By giving back to his community, he believes in his head.
No, but the issue was the issue not that he was a paedophile and that he did lots of things.
Well, again, it was great. It was great.
He was convicted of paedophilia. Is that not the issue?
Yes,
and you're still being misogynistic. Therefore, you're not showing a trait of that issue.
The N word that he says is that he goes back to his hood. His hood love him. That's his defense. In the Breakfast Club interview, Charlamagne was like, "Why'd you say the N word?" And he went, "People in the hood love me. I give back to my community." That's his defense.
I don't understand where is the correlation?
But he's not very educated, though, and I think you can see
then
that.
get somebody educated on your team,
Do you know one problem I have with this cancelling culture? It's like, okay, celebrities are human beings as well.
They are.
So, like when so celebrities in a sense, their freedom is being limited because they're going to stop expressing themselves like in complete like creatively like because of being afraid of cancelling. What's also like bad is the fact that once they've been cancelled, then to what extent are we then able to fully appreciate their music again? They might have that stigma attached to them which may further worsen the situation. So like, we shouldn't be so quick to just cancel people.
Yeah, I was going to say, but I feel like it's quite complicated because like things like morals like change over time as well. My issue with cancelling is like when you cancel someone, like if you don't listen to the music, like why do you actually do it? Do you feel like you'll like do you feel like in a way like morally
You're the
superior?
higher,
For me, it's not like moral Olympics. I do it because I don't feel comfortable giving a certain type of person my money. Like, if you're showing that you can't respect people like me, if you can't respect black women, if you can't respect women in general, you are not getting coins from a black woman. That's why, like, I don't see it as moral Olympics because I'm not judging my friends for listening to certain people. That would be like moral complex and all of that. It's a personal thing.
It's personal. Why do people feel the need to express it?
Express
Why are you spending so much time talking about someone you've
It's like going to the gym. If you didn't stop it, it didn't happen.
I don't spend time talking about people I don't like because I don't care about people I don't like.
You know how social media works. Everyone's trying to push an agenda. Everyone wants to be
But that's
seen
what
as
he's
a certain
saying
light.
though.
I feel like everyone's got their own moral compass,
Everyone's got-
and that's fair enough to you. When it comes to a wider thing, like morals change over time and stuff. So you'll know, like for example, I don't know, in Shakespearean time, Shakespeare might have been like a homophobe and all those sorts of things. Are you not going to appreciate his art because at that time it was seen as okay? Like things change over time.
What is not being seen as okay? Say somebody like 6ix9ine, which did the whole paedophilia. That's not okay.
But even paedophilia, like back in the day, Shakespeare,
okay.
Romeo and Juliet.
No,
So
paedophilia was okay at a certain time, but that's not okay currently. And we're saying for this current time we're in, this current space we're in, should we endorse certain people with certain behaviours? And it's saying if I want to take time out from listening to that person until they have shown me actively that they want to change and actively their music.
So then,
has
how
changed.
can you endorse someone currently? But then, are you willing to like cancel like an older generation artist just because they've died, the time has passed?
There's something an analogy that I bring up here. You know that thing where discipline, where the mother or father like beats the child, and then the child gets afraid of getting beaten, as opposed to actually seeing what they did as wrong. The same applies to artists. They're afraid of being cancelled, so they're not necessarily going to fully transform. They're just afraid of being cancelled.
Yeah, obviously like such like broad topic with so many trees and so many branches, and I feel like we explore some branches and some branches the leaves are still growing, but you know, it's the end of the episode. Thank you for watching. Comment what you think below. Quick plug, Ali has a podcast to sample.
Yeah, like it's a podcast, it's on SoundCloud. We talk about hip hop, all sorts of other things, like it's random stuff, man. Check it out.
So
Of course.
See you on the next episode.
When will that be?